Assalamu alaikum. 6 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Sumera Kamal. The headlines first. Federal Cabinet approves the new civil aviation policy to promote tourism and give boost to aviation industry in the country. Briefing newsmen about cabinet decisions, Information Minister said a 10-member Pakistan Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee has been constituted to facilitate Sikh pilgrims after opening of Kartarpur corridor. Army Chief and the Commander of UK Field Army at a meeting in Islamabad today discussed issues related to regional security and professional interest. 6 terrorists were killed in 2 separate operations by security forces in Loralei and Dera Ismail Khan today. United Nations, China and Gulf states have rejected a US decision to recognize Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Third one-day international between Pakistan and Australia will be played at Abu Dhabi tomorrow. And now the news in detail. The Federal Cabinet has approved a new civil aviation policy to promote tourism and give boost to aviation industry in the country. Briefing the newsmen about the decisions made in the Cabinet meeting chaired by Prime Minister Imran Khan in Islamabad today, Information Minister Chaudhry Fawad Hussain said travelling to the tourist resorts of Pakistan will be facilitated by reducing expenditures. The Information Minister said facilities including reduction in travelling expenses and cuts in taxes worth 4 billion rupees will be offered to promote tourism, and there will be no tax on domestic aerial travel. He said the Cabinet also discussed to start helicopter and 40-seater planes service to the tourist sites in the country. The minister said open sky policy in Pakistan is being withdrawn and foreigners will no more need to have no objection certificate to move in the country. Fawad Chaudhry said the Cabinet decided to review agreements with all the international airlines. Fawad Chaudhry said the Cabinet also approved 2 billion rupees Ramzan package to provide relief to people during the holy month. Speaking about Kartarpur corridor, the minister informed media persons that the corridor will be opened for the Sikh community to travel to Kartarpur shrine. He said in order to ensure the required arrangements and facilitate the Sikh pilgrims, a new 10-member Pakistan Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee has been constituted. Answering a question about opening Sharda Temple corridor in Azad Kashmir, the minister said we will wait for Indian request about it. Balochistan National Party Chief Sardar Akhtar Mengal called on Prime Minister Imran Khan in Islamabad today. During the meeting, they exchanged views on matters pertaining to Balochistan. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has expressed the Pakistan's desire to expand cooperation with Cuba in various fields, including health, education, and culture. Talking to Cuban Ambassador Gabriel T.L. Capati, who called on him in Islamabad today, he said social and economic development is among the top priorities of the PTI government. They agreed to exchange parliamentary delegations between the two countries. Commander of the UK Field Army Lieutenant General Patrick Sanders called on Chief of the Army Staff General Qamar Javed Bajwa at National Defence University in Islamabad today. Issues related to regional security and matters of professional interest came under discussion. Earlier, Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa visited National Defence University and addressed the participants of the 4th Pakistan-UK Stabilisation Conference. While interacting with participants, General Bajwa focused on internal and external security situation of the country and his vision of an enduring peace within Pakistan and the region. 4 terrorists were killed during intelligence-based operation by security forces in Loralei today. Those killed included 2 suicide bombers and the mastermind of the recent terrorist activities in Balochistan of proscribed Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. According to the ISPR, as the security forces cordoned off the area, terrorists opened fire and used grenades to impede security forces' movement and tried to flee. During intense exchange of fire, all the 4 terrorists were killed by the security forces. Cache of weapons, suicide jackets, and heavy explosives were also recovered from their possession. During operation, 4 security personnel sustained minor injuries. In another incident, 2 terrorists of a banned outfit have been killed in exchange of the fire with security forces in Tehsil Darabun of Dera Ismail Khan district. Supreme Court has granted 6 weeks bail to former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif in Al Azizia case on medical grounds. A 3-member bench of the Apex Court headed by Chief Justice Asif Saeed Khosa announced the judgment in Nawaz Sharif's bail petition today. According to the judgment, Nawaz Sharif can get the medical treatment in the country, but he cannot go abroad. Lahore High Court has ordered to remove the name of the leader of opposition in the National Assembly, Shehbaz Sharif, from exit control list. Shehbaz Sharif had challenged the federal government's decision of placing his name on the ECL. This is Radio Pakistan. A latest study has revealed that 59.3% of the pellet guns victims in occupied Kashmir suffer visual impairment of various degrees, with 36.7% among them ending up with severe blindness. The study conducted at Government Medical College Srinagar has lent scientific support to the fears about lethality of the metallic pellet shotguns widely used by Indian troops in Kashmir against protesters. The study included 664 patients out of the 1,066 who were admitted to hospitals in Srinagar between July 2016 and January 2018 with eye injuries suffered due to pellet shotguns. Former Chief Minister of Occupied Kashmir, Umar Abdullah, has welcomed Prime Minister Imran Khan's initiatives for peace in the region. In a tweet, he said proposal to establish a corridor for Hindu pilgrims from India to visit Sharda Peeth will promote people-to-people contacts and help ease tensions. Umar Abdullah expressed the hope that in any post-May elections, these steps will be reciprocated by India and we can move towards resuming comprehensive dialogue between the two countries. Gulf Arab states have rejected a U.S. decision to recognize Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, and Kuwait have warned that the move will hurt the peace process in the Middle East and affect regional stability. All regional allies of Washington that host American troops criticized the move by President Donald Trump to recognize Israel's 1981 annexation and said the territory was occupied Arab land. A statement on Saudi Arabia's state news agency SPA described the U.S. declaration as a clear violation of the United Nations Charter and of international law. Kuwait and Bahrain said they regretted the decision, while Qatar called on Israel to end its occupation of the Golan Heights and comply with international resolutions. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, criticizing U.S. President Donald Trump for recognizing the Golan Heights as part of Israel, said the move was against international law. Meanwhile, spokesperson for UN Security General Stephen Dujarric in a daily press briefing said that the United Nations policy on Israeli-occupied Golan Heights remains unchanged despite the U.S. administration's recognition of Israeli sovereignty over territory. In another move, Chinese Foreign Ministry's spokesperson Gang Shuang, in a briefing in Beijing today, opposed the U.S. move of formally recognizing Golan Heights as Israeli territory and opposed the change of facts through unilateral acts. He said the international community recognizes that the Golan Heights is an occupied territory. In Syria, 2 children were killed and 5 others injured in a regime artillery shelling on a school in northwestern Idlib province today. The death toll is feared to rise as rescue operations are still underway. The Pentagon has authorized the transfer of $1 billion to Army engineers for new wall construction along the U.S.-Mexico border. The funds are the first under the national emergency declared by President Donald Trump to bypass Congress and build the barrier he pledged during his election campaign. The third match of 5 one-day internationals between Pakistan and Australia will be played at Abu Dhabi tomorrow. The match will start at 4 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Australia lead the series by 2-0. And finally, the weather. Mainly dry weather is expected in most parts of the country in the next 12 hours. However, cloudy weather is expected in western and coastal areas of Balochistan. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and also watch live streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/radio Pakistan News Official.